I don't actually sleep.
All right, so moral of the story, Dom working for both orgs, Travis steals idea, ESPN steals Ovilly's idea. LS, how was your week?
My week was something. It was definitely something. I had the LCK pause.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was really cool. 4 hours.
Were you actually
experience.
live for the entire
Yes.
4 hours? Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't- Oh,
What did you do?
Oh,
What did
yes.
you talk about?
We went on a bit of an adventure. We talked about Pokemon quite a bit. I actually don't even remember. All I remember was Pokemon, man. All I remember was Pokemon. We talked about so many random different things. We played Dunga like 3 times. We played Pog State once or something, but it was that was a very Degon. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation as like a host or something, but that was a nightmare.
For 4 hours now. I've done
For
an hour
4
and a
hours,
half,
and
but not
I
4
can't
hours.
actually be myself because normally when I'm on LCK, I'm filtered. I'm very, very filtered. I'm very cognizant of like all the words that I use, the jokes that I go for, and whatever, right? Because I'm aware I can't be like my stream persona. So I was struggling. I was like, what am I doing? I felt like I was in prison.
Was it with Brandon or was it with Atlas?
It was with Brendan. Yeah.
Okay.
Which,
I mean-
listen, he's the uncultured one. He doesn't watch movies. He doesn't keep
no.
up to date with like anything going on.
Dude, it feels like you were that me. You're talking to a brick.
I was getting donut walled by my co-caster.
Jesus, dude. Nah, Brandon's a pro though. Like both of them are pros. So I think you were at least in good hands. But that sucks. All right. Well, sweet. I'm glad you guys had good weeks. This is my 11th day straight of work. Tomorrow's my first day off and only day off for the next 2 weeks. So it's good.
Good shit.
It's good. Business is booming. Unlike, or very much like Cloud9, which went exploding right out of Worlds.
Okay. All right, Degon.
We haven't one of these, everybody. Cloud9 dropping their set to TSM after all of us predicted them as the hope of NA. And NA all of a sudden got way worse with TSM winning that match. 3-1.
That's pretty bad.
Except for the fact that Spica looked good. He looked like he knew how to jungle. Playoff Bjergsen looked like he had a beard again and was Beardson. And Cloud9 looked kind of lost. They look kind of lost. Yep. Spam those IW in the chat with the little Cloud9 hat or whatever it is on his head. It's sad boy time for all you Cloud9 fans. If you're a TSM fan, you deserve it. This is the moment where after a year long of getting shit on by everybody, you proved them wrong, and even if you lose the next match against Team Liquid, you're going to Worlds. Spam that TSM, logo or whatever you guys got. LS, you got to watch the match. I want to start there. We'll get to Flyquest and Team Liquid, but TSM Cloud9, that's the big story, isn't it?
TSM Cloud9 was, I mean, I don't know why. I felt like on my co-stream, I was, well, okay, so some of them jokingly predicted TSM to win, but I think I was like one of the only people that actually legitimately thought they would win. I didn't think they would end up losing the series. I was very surprised in the manner in which they won, but I think I thought that they should have won the series. Yeah.
Why did you think they were going to win? Just Bjergsen?
No, okay, so Cloud9, like, the last few weeks of LCS and even their most recent playoff matches, they just look lost. I don't know how to... I actually can't think, from all of the regions that I've watched, I can't think of a bigger descent than Cloud9. From, like, the top of the standings to just, like, plummeting.
Yep.
Yeah. And the way that they
ever.
just look... Yes, I mean, the cohesion, everything is just not there, man. Everything is just not there. They look like they could have been, like, outfought by, like, solo queue players almost in some spots. The way that, like, I don't even know. I really don't even know.
Yeah.
Trying to think of, like, nice things to say, and I can't. So
About Cloud9.
I don't think you have to be nice necessarily because, like, this is probably one of the most, if not the most disappointing finish to a team's split ever, I would say. There was not only expectation because this team was great, but when you look at the whole year, they were so dominant. They were toying with teams. Reaper was toying with teams in draft, and Vulcan and Sven would just shit on them with no matter who they had, right? And it wasn't until they lost with the Wukong bot lane against Juanito Arturo Garcia, better known as Contracts and 100 Thieves, when all of a sudden everything fell apart from my perspective, right, Dom?
Well, I'm not sure if like they fell apart then or like it was just like a bad game, because at that point I still was like, okay, it's fine. Like they lost one game to 100 Thieves. It's not the end of the world. But for some reason, that game just like crushed them. They just forgot how to win in general. They're like, what do we even do? Do we just fight into Chenault every single time that it has a timer? Like what's our like plan to victory? It seems like this team is so panicked when it goes when they go into a game. It seems like every move they make is so desperate. It feels like when they start the series, they're already down like 0-2.
Right.
It's that final game. Like that's the level of desperation I'm seeing out of all the plays. So I don't know. For me, it's really, really like scary, like to just see them, fall so far, because, it felt like as soon as there was a little bit of pushback from enemy teams, they just completely collapsed, which I've never really seen before. Normally like teams are able to withstand that, and if anything, it makes them a little bit better. They're like, okay, it's not the end of the world. We like are not as good as we used to be, but we just got to figure out our shit, and we know we're better. They're like, oh shit, like other teams might be better than us. Fuck it, we're losing to everyone now. We're losing to Flyquest, TSM. Like it doesn't even fucking matter anymore.
Well, how much of it, because people in chat are bringing it up, and there's always, a lot of people point to that. How much of it was that they lost grip of the meta and less of like a mental of the team? Because the way that you just said it made it sound like it's the mental of the team that kind of just slipped away.
I don't really care about the meta. I mean, they were winning with meta champs. They were winning with off meta champs. They could play everything before. They could win with scaling comps, and they would even win early game with scaling comps. Like it wasn't like in spring they just like people try to make it out as like they had one play style and that's like why they won. Like sure, you could like identify some things, like they played roam mid laners, but it's not like they stopped playing roam mid laners. Like in this final series, they were playing the same mid laners that they were playing in spring. They were playing a bunch of Zoe, which is like one of the strongest picks right now. I don't think that they just suddenly couldn't play the champions. Obviously like other things became stronger. To gauge like fights just completely evaporated from my perspective. If you watch their brain check where they do the voice comms, every single fight that they go into, they think they're going to win when like these are fights they should just be calling like, hey, this is like a loss. Like we don't want to take a 5v5 bot lane when we have GP versus Shen. Like it's okay if like, we force out a Shen ult and then we disengage and then GP will like have an ulti for like the next fight and you can play off that. But it felt like every single time that they fought, it had to be an all in. And every single time they thought they were going to win a fight, or they thought they were going to win every fight, where like a lot of these fights are just like, completely unwinnable, or they're just not fighting on their timings. Also, like throughout the game, I mean, they're just getting picked so much. Like even if you go back to the Flyquest series, right? Like game 3 versus Flyquest, that was the one where they had Gragas, GP, Ezreal, Yumi. They were playing with Zoe mid. They have like a 7k gold lead and Baron on a GP, Yumi, Ezreal team going into like the mid game, and somehow they just get picked 4 times in a row. They get caught 4 times in a row, and then they just end up like losing soul and then slowly losing the game from that point. It just doesn't look like Cloud9 anymore. Like they were so much better at being able to like identify what the other team's strengths were, like what to play around, like how to toy the other teams around the map. Like that was just something that they were practiced on, and now that's like completely been lost. Like it feels like they just have no idea how to make these decisions anymore.
I like the point you're mentioning, right, about like the Gangplank, Ezreal, Yumi, and the team compositions. There was many times where they had a better draft, they had better game states, and they had massive leads, and then they still found ways to blunder them with just awful cohesion. And I'm trying to think what could end up being like the reason for something like this, but I really don't even I don't know what it is. Like normally at the very start of splits in either spring or summer, you'll see teams that have like the most cohesion with one another stand out against other teams just because they're better at working together. But then as the split progresses and other teams get more adjusted to working with one another, then those teams begin to struggle. The teams that just relied on teamwork and whatnot. But I don't know how Cloud9 falls apart. I wonder if their practice or the way that they view or approach the game takes a hit because they were winning so much and they were so dominant. And then maybe they just grow really lax and stuff starts to get really bad. I have no idea. And then I the thing that you mentioned about the meta, I don't think that I mean, if you look at all of their match history, there's not really an issue with meta at all. Like I mean, I guess the one thing I would personally complain about, I guess, is like jungle, right? Because I have a very different view on like jungle champions with like even Karthus and Gragas and whatnot being way higher than like Lee Sin and fucking Set and Volibear and
Nocturne.
Shit.
Oh my god, they played a Nocturne game into Lilia. How insane is that?
Okay,
that's a fucking grief. But yeah, you
right. No, I mean that was pretty much it. I mean, I don't know. I think their drafts, like, I think their drafts for the most part were okay. They had some really fucking weird ones though that I don't understand, like what the fuck is going on. I also think they won with some really bad drafts at some points, which has nothing to do with it. And I don't really know like what to think if you're Cloud9 and you're wondering like, well, what are we really doing wrong? And I think that like having access to the mic checks would be really good, because we as like outsiders don't totally know what the hell is being said, because like you're saying, there's no way that they're seeing or talking about the same things when they're doing some of these team fights. They're on like, I made a joke on Twitter or something that like a team was on different WoW layers, but that's like actually how they look sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I'm asking those questions because I want to make sure that we cover our bases towards this fall from Cloud9, right? Because it feels weird. No one expected it. No one would have expected it. At the beginning of summer, even by the end of playoffs, everyone's like, all right, there they go. They rifled off a couple wins, and they looked better, even though it was shitty opponents. They got it done. They stopped the skid. They were able to bounce back in the losers bracket against EG, 3-0. But, man, like, it did look like they were picking fights that they had no business to fight and no business to win, as Dom said.
It's really fucking strange. And then also, like, when you just look at the team, it feels like they don't know what they're good at anymore. So just everything is just like RNG. It's just like, I mean, like, fuck, like, are we a late game team? All right, let's try late game. Oh, that failed. Like, let's try early game. And then they just lose early game as well. I mean, there was the point of practice that LS mentioned that I think could be an issue. I mean, from all accounts, this team was like the most dominant scrim practice, like the most dominant scrim team period in the LCS.
Yeah.
So they had apparently going like through playoffs, they were like 35-5 in scrims. Like they're winning every single scrim game. So I mean, I just don't even know what to say about that. Like I wonder if at a point, and this is something that I mean I asked them personally today, was at a point do you like try to not take free kills or take solo kills as much so you get to like a mid game or a late game so you can actually practice some of these later game states? Because it feels like, you know, like for them, if they're rolling over every single team in 20 minutes, they're 5-0ing every single team in 20 minutes, including teams that they lost to. Like, think about Flyquest. Flyquest literally gets 5-0'd by C9 every single time in scrims, and then 3-1s them on stage. How insane is that? Like, go for it.
No, I was just going to say, I think the point that you're mentioning about, like, intentionally not taking kills and stuff in order to force mid-game so that they can actually get better practice, I would be extremely surprised to hear any Western team actually do that. Whereas I know that in historically in Asia, China, Korea, I don't know about Japan, through different esports, that's always been a thing. Intentionally handicapping yourselves against weaker players when you know that you're going to win in order to get better practice, if you just can't get better practice like on the day. That would be an insane thing to actually do. I just don't give any credit for, especially a North American team, to think like that.
You know, TL in season 5, we actually did that. That was something that we actually did when we scrimmed against our academy team. We like talked about it. It's like, hey, like if you see like a solo kill, like let's not win the game through solo kills. Let's try to get to like a mid and late game versus team. So like you can take a chunk. You can like look for like turret chip, stuff like that. But like our coaches would literally stand behind us and be like, hey, like don't take that kill. Like just like let them reset here. Let them reset so that we actually can like practice a mid or late game.
All I hear. TL season 5 should have been world champs. Should have been world champs.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it did actually help us because we were like a really shit team and we did get better. Like we were like a 7th place team that ended up like eventually like winning like at least the regular season and then like placing 3rd twice. So from where we were, it did help us, I would say. So I actually like always appreciated that idea. I don't think it's bad to like like, I don't think that just because you're going to take every single kill on stage, like, you know what to do when a kill is presented to you, right? Like, it's not that hard to execute at that point. I think there is an idea of like
sandbagging for practice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not even sandbagging, just like getting yourself to like a state where it's like, hey, we're going to like practice Baron setups. And the way to like, and we're not going to practice Baron setups when 3 people are dead. Like, that's not a Baron setup anymore. That's just fucking hitting the Baron. We're going to practice like 5v5, like the Baron dance, you know? So I think it actually works out.
Do you think there's a dilemma that all 5 of the players actually, so as weird as this sounds, all 5 of the players have different ideas of like what they want to do? And so as everything developed and evolved, they just started going in different directions? I mean, I don't know all the players on, like, obviously I don't know pretty much any of the players, right? But like, I wonder if their outlook on the game is just very different. And when they were winning, like if you look at the way that Niski was always just playing mid, right? It makes it very easy for bot and top to just play regardless of what you're doing. Just makes it super fucking easy. It's like, honestly, you're playing with training wheels on, pretty much, if you're bot and top lane. But the second that shit's gonna start getting rough, and everyone's going to have to start thinking more and acting more cohesively, do you think things just fall apart because they have different perspectives on the game?
I mean, it's really hard to say. You know, I mean, I think definitely they do have different perspectives on the game. I mean, you can hear that just clearly in their voice comms, right? Like, anytime that anyone is on the fucking screen, Blabber wants to fight. That's literally his perspective on the game, right? And I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. Like, he is literally perma-fighting. And Vulcan is like just a more controlled player in general, but that always was like a balance that made sense within the team. You know, it was like I don't think that all 5 players need to have the exact same mindset at every stage for a team to work.
Sounds
like,
impossible.
Yeah, it's not going to be a thing, right? Like, you have people balance themselves out. And it just seems like at some point they stopped like trusting each other. Whereas before, you know, Vulcan could kind of put Blabber on the leash. He could be like, all right, here, boy, like, and then just like get him to come back over and like be like, all right, like, you're going too deep, like, reel it back in. But now it's just like they're just rabid fucking animals. Blabber goes and then they all just fucking go and just die. Like, they power it together. So, I mean, I don't know. I respect the I respect the fact that they are like different. I don't think that's necessarily a problem that they have different views on the game. But for some reason, like, there's just no synergy, there's no cohesion, and they don't trust each other, which is the biggest thing.
So Dom, you had the opportunity through Cloud9 to sit down and chat with the players, right? So you created some content. Is that out already, or is it coming out soon?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
So I don't want you to give away everything, but definitely a teaser for it, not only because it'll probably be a fantastic piece of content, but rarely do you have players that are accountable enough to chat after, after losing like that. That is one of the great things that makes League of Legends great and esports great and our gaming culture great. Players and personalities are so accessible, but one place that they were almost never accessible, other than maybe High doing a lose interview, was after losing. And you had the chance to sit down with the team after not just losing a game, not just losing a series, but having their season ended. What were some of the highlights and things that stood out?
I guess like the fact that like, at least outside of the game, maybe in game, I felt like there was trust issues. Outside of the game, it feels like they all still like respect each other as players. Like, they still like, they won as a team, they actually lost as a team. So that is respectable in and of itself. Like, normally it's really easy once you lose to just start hating the rest of your fucking teammates, like, or just blame it on like a couple guys. It's like, okay, like, like you remember some really bad plays in key moments, and then that person's just thrown out under the bus. But it seemed like they actually like still maintained respect for each other. So I think that's like, pretty telling. I mean, there's stuff that I obviously can't say that will be released tomorrow in terms of like, roster and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I just think that the fact that the team is like willing to, take the hit is like, hey, we all, had our part in this loss, and we're gonna like, work together to make sure it doesn't happen again. I thought that was interesting, because normally in NA, people just like blame whoever, like they'll just be like, oh, Licorice died a bunch of times without using flash in that last game. Yeah, fuck this guy. Like, let's get a new top laner. It's so much easier to do that than to really like look inward.
LS, do you have any questions on that interview, or who you'd want to hear from the most for Dom?
No, I mean, I guess I'll just end up. How long is it? Do you know what the final product is?
I'm not sure, but I mean the interview is 35 minutes, and I think like probably the whole thing will be.
Oh, you talk to all of them?
Yes, all
once.
5.
Oh,
like
okay,
all at
okay.
once.
I mean, I'll probably just watch it on stream then or something. I don't know.
Yeah, go for it.
That'll be good.
Yeah, I think that's super sick. And again,
I have freaking.
Yeah, you have LCK
tomorrow. Shit, I'll watch it at night.
Well, I mean, it should come out in like maybe like 10 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm thinking. Yeah. Okay, I'm thinking like 24 plus hours. All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fart. It's a hard fucking interview. I just said fart. What the fuck? It's a hard fucking. Right. Yeah, it's a fart interview, man. It's a really hard interview, right? Like
fucking word.
Wait, I don't know, man. Fart. I don't think so. But
it is now, dude.
It's such a ridiculous. Like I was thinking about like. You know, how do you talk to people that really don't want to talk about something, and like how do you get the best answers?
Obligation or duty?
That's what I meant. It was my fart obligation there.
I can't.
Dude, this sucks. Right. You were being really authentic, but I was like, he said fart. Yeah, I'm sure it was fucking hard, also known as fart, to run that interview. 5 guys. Like, I'm glad that it's all 5 guys together. Even though like I'm pretty sure Cloud9's editors would have edited it out and removed things and made it the way that they wanted to, but like being able to say whatever the players wanted to say in front of each other, I think is huge. Mature of the team in the face of, again, historic loss. Were they aware of the historic ramifications of not being?
I mean, I made sure that they were aware of it. I made sure that they're all. I'm like, this was fucking crazy. Like, what the fuck happened? No, I'm just kidding. I didn't go that hard.
Oh shit, that's funny. All right, damn, dude. Well, the last AD carry to play for Cloud9 at Worlds. That's right. Got to fit it in there in our last episode.
Oh no, dude.
100% win record, the most winningest player in Worlds history. Just throwing that one out there. All right, cool.
Okay.
All right, so we spent a lot of time talking about Cloud9 there. Let's flip to the other side over on TSM. TSM found a way to get it done, especially I thought they were going to be drained after playing Golden Guardians. 0-5 against Golden Guardians until they pull out 3, and I was like, nah, there's no way. Cloud9's got their number. TSM was just riding the coattails of Golden Guardians fucking up the whole time, and then Bjergsen and Zilean. But they were able to get it done. What did we learn about TSM in that series that then we can propel that into not only the rest of, the semifinals and the finals, but also Worlds?
It's just a Bjergsen 1v9 show. This guy just he's really on one now. I mean, Bjergsen upped his level. Like, he was already one of the best players, but then going into playoffs, like now he's just playing like the best player in the league. So I think that's a huge takeaway here. This guy's now perfect.
No, go. I'm blanked. Sorry, go.
Wait, do you have a point or no? Or did you actually just blank?
No, I just blanked.
Okay. Well, I mean, for me, it's just like looking at this guy. I mean, he's literally carrying every single game. If he has a bad game, I don't think TSM can even like they're barely winning some games where he's popping the fuck off. Like look at that game 3 versus Cloud9, where he's 25 stacks, like up, like he's 6 items when Niski is 3 or like 4 items, something like that. And they're still like barely winning. And like Spica's like throwing, and Doublelift is like he's decent, I guess. I mean, they're really picking like not good lanes for him, so I don't really know why that's a thing, but they're not taking like really good bot lanes. They're taking like a lot of Rakan blind, which I think is awful right now, but they're getting away with it. Yeah. They're getting away with it. So I feel like their bot lane is a huge liability, but I mean, they're picking for team fights, so at least they're useful later on. I think Spica's like pretty coin flip, but he's been playing like okay. Bjergsen's like pure 1v9, and then Broken Blade has really good lane phases, and then just like randomly dies throughout the game. So.
Jesus.
Why?
No, just TSM, man. I don't know what to think on some of the things.
Like what?
I completely blanked. No, I'm completely blanked. No, the Bjergsen. One of the things I actually like, because I'm sure that we'll get into it when we talk about who they go up against next, which is TL. I have no idea how the Jensen and Bjergsen talk is like a thing to the extent that it is. If you know what I'm referring to.
The rivalry.
Well, I mean, is it really like I don't understand how it like the amount of weight that Bjergsen just carry. Like I don't understand it, because sometimes you also have to measure a player by the tools that they're surrounded by, right? And the other things that they're working with. Like
Jensen
I know
had
this was
high jungle.
Okay, listen.
Wait,
No. So, this conversation just got brought up because there was the LCK Pro vote recently.
Yeah.
Which just ended up happening, and there was a lot of not controversy, but there was a lot of discussion in the communities, because mostly it was just the winningest players were basically at the top of all the votes. But that's not how the vote should actually work.
Sure.
So like as a segue, I think Aiming is probably one of the best AD carries in the entire league. But he was on very few like top standing pro votes, which doesn't make any sense, because Aiming has fucking his teammates on KT. Like, come on, what do you want him to do? But still, he manages to shine, right? It was sort of like Teddy on Jin was another thing, or like Hybrid on APK in Spring. So I think that stuff has to be measured that way. If you look at the way that TSM win their games, or the situations that they all go through, it always comes back to one thing, which is mostly Bjergsen, like only. And I don't feel the same way for any other team in North America or any other player. I don't know what fucking level of just blindness you have to just look at it, and it's so weird. And if we want to talk about like laning phase or like laning prowess or something, they all lane like donkeys at so many different fucking points. So like, what kind of recency bias or fucking confirmation bias are they using to make conclusions about players in isolation? Doesn't even make sense, because you can go through any of their laning phases and you can just point out errors almost in fucking real time, as if they can't spell mid lane or they can't spell top lane or something like that. It's really fucking weird, man. I don't know. We're going to talk about this probably when we go into the TL thing, but I really wanted to just emphasize the Bjergsen factor, because he was such a big component in both of their last series.
Yeah. You know what's crazy though? Like, when you think about Bjergsen versus Jensen, right? And you're like, damn, Bjergsen has on an average level of his teammates, he has worse teammates than Jensen, right? He actually has a better jungler than Jensen though. Like, and it's like, you think about the mid 2v2, dude, when does Jensen ever get like any type of like positive help for his lane from jungle? Does it ever happen? Like, it's actually so crazy to me that TL hasn't found a way to enable Jensen. Like, Core JJ has more impact on mid lane than Broxa has, which is so insane to me, you know? Like,
stay here, rookie, I gotta go help our mid laner.
Well, honestly, like I feel like Spiga, at least, like, even though he's coin flipping, he'll throw games at points, but he at least has like better early games. Like, he'll actually be present on the map. He'll make something happen. Like, he does gank at least. So it's hard for me to like. It's like, damn, like neither of them play like it. Literally, it's just mid lane is just a 1v1 in NA, which is so weird when you watch other regions. Mid lane's like a fucking 3v3 at minute 4. Like, go watch LPL. The support, like the Leona, is just like trading flashes with the enemy mid laner. They're just bringing the whole fucking team. It's like a 4-man gank mid at like 4 minutes. Like, what the fuck? This guy can't even lane. How is it just a 1v1 in NA? Like, it's like a different fucking world.
Yeah, it's sad. It really it's something weird, man. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. And also, the mid lane meta was the most changing, right, of all the roles throughout NA this split. I think it was the one that went all over the place from pretty much start to finish. Like, jungle, even though it like changed up, we're still not seeing it change up to the extent that it could. I mean, bot lane was forcibly changed between splits like this year because of Aphelios and Ezreal and whatnot. You know, and Senna even getting hit, Misfortune, yada yada yada, Varus. Yeah, mid lane's really weird. Just watching it in isolation.
Well, I mean, I think that a lot of these like mid lane picks shouldn't even be viable. Like, the Zillion pick, like, Bjergsen plays an insane Zillion. I don't give a fuck how good you are at Zillion. This champion should not be able to lane. Like, this champion actually cannot lane in these matchups that we're seeing him lane into. You're picking Zillion into Lucian. I mean, if Niski didn't misplay, that's solo kill level 4. Like, that's just not a lane where you can play it. And TSM just gets away with it because the quality of like the mid laners they're going against isn't high enough. But if they end up going into Worlds with the same style, dude, you're not getting like, I watched Chovy's Lucian in DRX versus Genji Game 4. You're not getting through that lane phase as Zillion into Chovy's Lucian. Like, it's just not happening.
Chovy, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, I'm like, yeah, this motherfucker's going to Worlds. Like, this is who you're playing again. Like, what do you want me to say?
No, he's not playing Chovy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, dude, you're gonna play fucking Knight. Like, you're gonna play these. Like, these motherfuckers exist. Like, this is the tournament you are going to. Like, these are the people that are qualified. You want to go for other mid laners? I mean, I can mention other mid laners. Like, Larsen's Lucian is good enough. Nemesis's Lucian is good enough. Like,
well, don't say that on your other show. Hold on. Slow down.
Yeah. Well, there's some times where I was looking at that Lucian. I don't know about the Manamoon build into like Quadra Tank, but I mean, he pulled it out, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I would say the state of North America's mid lane is very different, and the fights are very different than what happens across the world, and probably isn't great for preparation in preparation for Worlds. I do wonder, what if they do Worlds teams spend so much time roaming mid, and mid just plays so conservative that the lead comes from those other roaming lanes. Say maybe bot lane does end up picking up a solo kill. They don't get the kill in mid lane or blow flash because
I don't know, man. I just
back, you know, like that's what I think happens at Worlds, because I think you're right? The reason why China plays that way or Korea plays that way is because everyone's opted into deciding to play that way. Hey, it's going to be
but it's Fiesta the timers that they do it on. Like, they do it on no loss timers. They're like in LPL, they're roaming at, like, they fuck you in the lane and then they back, and then instead of running back bot, Leona runs mid and just ganks you while they're going to the next wave. So they don't do it on timers where they're like losing out or people are laning alone. Like, they just play aggressive. They play for the all-in level 2. The winner of the all-in level 2 gets the push. They use the push to get the first base. The first base dictates the first support that's unlocked on the map. The unlocked support goes, fucks up the mid lane, and then runs back bottom. Like, they're not doing it at times where they're losing a lot individually for it. Because, dude, Jackie loves not letting his support roam mid when, like, the wave's, like, pushing away from him. They're not gonna fucking give up lane pressure for that shit. But in general, I mean, my whole, like, thing about TSM, I guess, to bring it back to the topic is, like, you're saying, like, what if the TSM bot lane gets a solo kill? I mean, what happens to TSM's bot lane? Like, isn't Biofrost and Double supposed to be one of the best laning bot lanes in the league? That's supposed to be a thing, right?
Not recently.
Well, I mean, Double is supposed to be one of the best AD carries in the league.
This is true.
A lot of the champions that are being played right now are extremely lane dominant. Jhin, Ashe, Caitlyn, like, all these things are super lane dominant, but they're not ever picking for lane. They're just, like, accepting losing lane every game. They're like, oh yeah, we'll just take Rakan. Like, why is it that the best teams in NA think that counter pick support doesn't matter at all?
Well, so I was talking about this with Max recently, right?
The old Max Waldo, North America's savior, handpicked and trained by LS. I get teased for bringing up the greatest Worlds player of all time. I'm going to tease you for NA's next great savior. Because I already sent mine.
I was talking about it with him because he is talking with more players than I talk to, right?
Sure.
And I think that the conclusion that is reached is that because these champions don't get punished, they think it's fine. They actually learn incorrect things.
Got you.
They don't know what it's like to actually be punished or properly play the lane and then punish these champions. Because they get into these weird ideas or these weird mindsets. And so then you reach false conclusions and you don't realize that it's actually not acceptable unless someone shows you that it's not acceptable. But when everyone just ends up handshaking it, then you don't realize it's not acceptable. And so you get these really weird things. And like there's a lot of disparity sometimes. Like when you listen to mic checks between regions, right? Where some players will actually say that like a certain pick's fine, and then their duo partner in bot lane will say that it's not fine. And then it's like, how do you even, I don't even know how the fuck that even occurs, number one, because you're both playing the same lane. But then how do you have such wildly different ideas on how something is going, right? Because it should just be able to be demonstrated. But like picks like Rakan and Tom and Bard or not Bard, Braum and whatnot, these should be able to be demonstrated that they're not blind pickable, that you can't just actually pick them. And yet we're having hand shook lanes, or we're just having lanes that just go relatively even. And it just doesn't make any fucking sense, man. It makes absolutely no sense.
What's your opinion on a couple of these matches? Because like NA has this weird, like I've been seeing like even like pros and people tweet to me that Rakan is actually fine into Leona because of unflinching now. Where I just am like, nah, this pick is like not okay. Like Leona will actually just murder you in the fucking lane. Like there's so many, and then like people think that like it's so weird. NA thinks like Bard is fine into Nautilus. Like you look at other regions, if you pick Bard, like they just pick Nautilus, hook you once, and then you're just dry humping your turret for the rest of the game. Like you can't get out. You're in fucking prison after that. So like, I don't know. What are your opinions on some of these lanes, like Bard blind versus like Nautilus, things like Rakan into Leona? Because these are like the picks that we're going for.
I feel like the meta right now, support counterpick is one of the strongest things, and we don't see it utilized to the extent that it could be, right? Like if you look at all of the mid lane champions, there's so many that can just go in blind, and there's not very much that you can do to them. Or they have ways that they can get out of the laning phase, right? So red team, in theory, should be able to get a lot more power down in bottom lane because of the dynamic of 80 carries right now, if they counterpick support. But when your idea of a counterpick support is fucking picking Tom Kench or Rakan, then yeah, you're gonna have a bad time. Like I mean I don't know what shit just goes wrong in your practice, or like how incompetent you must be as a player to not realize that there's better picks. But then sometimes it's like I actually feel fucking cursed, by the way. Like some of the champions that I've like fucking asked, like begged
Zyra.
for. That was the worst Zyra spot in the world, man. What the fuck are they doing? And then they built 3 Leon trees, man. I'm getting fucking sabotaged or something.
052 Cortez J.
You actually weren't online, and if you go back to my live, I'm like, I hope to God Ellis doesn't wake up for this game. I hope to God. I was hoping to God. I'm like, I hope this guy sleeps through this shit, because this is some ugly shit that we're seeing right here.
During that, dude, the fucking universe was trying to let me know. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, I would have went, if I was you, I would have went back to sleep if I woke up and saw that shit. I would have woke up, seen like the level 9 Zyra at like 35 minutes with just Leandra's components and be like, no, today is not for me. We'll just go next day. Jesus fucking Christ.
Just following up on that Rakan point, 4 games for Rakan, all for Biofrost in the TSM series, and then Rakan came up once into a Lux by Team Liquid. I guess Ignar played it against Core JJ and Team Liquid.
Yeah, Rakan into Caitlyn Lux. Dude, that's why he's tweeting out this shit, or like Ignar's going in interviews saying like, man, I really appreciate Turtle's mental, because how fucking insanely mentally strong do you need to be to have your support? You're picking Ashe into Caitlyn, and your support picks Rakan into Lux. Like, you literally have to be mental Buddha to just sit there and just be able to like, oh, nah, it's fine, guys. We're just gonna be down like 50 CS in this lane. Yeah, fuck our turret. We didn't even want our turret anyway. How do you play this? Like, this is actually such an unplayable lane from the AD perspective. Like, so many ADs would just not let you play that shit. And I don't even think the AD should. Like, I think the AD should put his foot down and be like, I don't give a fuck if you enjoy playing Rakan. I don't care how fun that shit is. I am not laning with an arm guard Rakan into Lux Caitlyn. It's just not happening. You know, like,
yeah,
it's too crazy.
Xpecial died for this, right? Xpecial's patience with Wild Turtle when he was a young buck. Now Turtle's the one in the seat that has to pay it back to Ignar. But they get the job done, and that's actually something that we should hit, because we spent a lot of time hitting Cloud9 TSM. We teed up just a little bit a portion of the TSM TL match, but there was another match. The fact that Flyquest right now is the only team in North America that doesn't have to play in the play-ins and is poised for their first ever franchise LCS championship. Win all 5 games. It was a series. Guys, what were your thoughts in this one, and Flyquest coming out on top?
Jungle diff. Jungle fucking diff. That's my thoughts. Like, Broxah actually has no champ pool. He has no champ pool, but yeah.
I mean, well, I mean, I've been very vocal about Broxah since last year.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
Hecarim, Volibear, Lee Sin.
No, it's not even that he doesn't have a champ pool. It's that he can't play jungle either. Like, does anyone watch these games? No, I'm being serious. Does anyone watch these games? Like, I mauled it over at Worlds last year. Does anyone actually watch the pathing and how much he misses out on? Why am I the only one mauling? Why is this like we want to? All right, so everyone gives 100 Thieves a lot of shit for Ryoma, right? Being an import slot. Where is it for TL?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Flame him literally all day, every day, and people just comment on my shit. Damn, Dom just hates Broxah for some reason. I actually like Broxah. I mean, how could you dislike this guy?
Yeah,
he's just
great
nice.
guy.
He's just a nice guy publicly.
This has nothing to do with his fucking. This has nothing to do with how he is as a human being.
It does.
No, not
in
as a
the
human
public,
being.
In the public side, it does. He's nice. You can't flame him. That's it.
No. What kind of a fucking defense is that, dude? What the fuck?
It's actually what people think. Like, he's nice.
Look,
don't flame him. He doesn't flame anyone. You can't flame him.
Take a look at the Korean fans to Faker right now, okay? Like,
yeah, they're
that
going
guy
to
has
fucking
never
jail
said
over
a
that
negative thing. He's like an ambassador for League of Legends, and the shit that he gets is so insane. Guy has so many world championships. What the fuck is going on? Holy shit! All right, so my prediction for next year is that Brox is not still with TL.
Damn, I mean, I feel like
I'm going that far.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, so I think that based on contracts, the whole team is like going to be blown up after this year. I think this is like TL's last hurrah, and then it's just fucking open season. Because Impact's contract ends, like he had that like $3.4 million contract for 3 years. This is the third year, so that's gone. Not sure about Court JJ's contract. I'm sure they'll hang on to Tactical.
Yeah,
but this team is blowing up after this.
I feel like Court JJ has accomplished everything that he wanted to accomplish coming back, right?
Yeah.
No, by the way. I want to say this. I have no idea how like me and Dom are gonna get shit for just talking about someone's play, just talking about their play. And it's not like I'm sure Dom does this too, but I do it in real time too, right? Like on the coach streams or like even in VOD reviews at Worlds last year, right? I literally did VOD reviews just going over specifically like the jungle pathing, right? With I
focus on jungle a lot in my stream because obviously I played pro jungle, so like that's like the thing that's most natural to me to comment on.
Yeah, but Dom, you're really not a pro player. You barely hit challenger. Meow meow meow.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. I only hit challenger in about 150 games with 60% win rate this season and held it for 2 months after the Tarzan drama. Let's just forget that ever happened. You know, that'd be really fucking bad for the narrative that I'm bad at the game. So you know, we're just gonna rule that one out. Just look to the side. You know.
God, LS, sorry.
Jesus Christ.
It just sucks. I don't understand. Someone like we shouldn't be personally attacked because we're not personally attacking Broxah. We're talking about his gameplay, which is not. It has nothing to do with him as a person, right? Like, or, I mean, the same thing for me and Ryoma, right? Like, at least, I mean, whenever I criticized Ryoma, it was mostly like he's import status, he's held to a higher standard. Is he living up to said standard? If the answer is no, then why is the answer no? And then you go into all that stuff, right? Imports are always going to be under much more scrutiny due to what they're taking up or like what's expected of them.
Broxah, like, look, if you were going to get fucking Canyon, he would operate under the same exact slot that Broxah has. They would be even in terms of Riot jurisdiction. Like, that's literally what the player is.
Yes.
Like, so yeah, if you're an import, you can't be playing worse than like average NA junglers.
They could get Tarzan.
Yeah, they could get
Tarzan's free agent.
Yeah, he's fucking. He disappeared. He disappeared, man. That guy.
No. He streams.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen that guy. I mean, it's just so crazy what happened to that Griffin team. I mean, that's a whole nother topic. I mean, it's just depressing when I watch oh man, when I watch Honda Life, it's like, oh, these are the same players. It's so sad.
Korean pros still think he's still the best. Like Korean players that have been asked about him in like recent weeks, they still think he's the best jungler in Korea. He streams, no mic, no cam. He's like 2 or 3K Andy.
Bro, I gotta watch it. I gotta watch that guy. That guy's a beast.
Yeah. Tarzan's pretty sick.
Yep. But
So I mean, back to the point, we were going in. The point was Broxah being the import spot.
Dude, this guy doesn't look at his map. Like there was one situation. And they ended up getting 2 for 1 in the play anyway, so people won't go back and criticize Broxah for that. So I'm going to talk about the play where Impact was Mordekaiser into GP, Solo's GP top lane. He's Lee Sin. They gank, burn the Mordekaiser's flash. Broxah's pathing up and just starts hitting his golems. When Impact's wave is pushing away as Mordekaiser versus GP, and he just got his flash bone, so he knows the enemy jungler is
Wait, what game is this?
It's when he's playing Lee Sin. It's maybe game 2. I think it's game 2.
Okay, because I didn't see the series. Remember, I only caught the last game.
I mean, Digon, do we have the technology? Can we play this on stream if I find you the clip?
Yeah. Find me the clip. We have the
Finally.
technology. It's all up to LS's fragile internet, though, as you know.
Okay. All right. Wait.
No,
What's the timer? What's the timer?
Game 3. Which game is it?
Yeah, it's game
Search on
3.
YouTube. 4 topside. Level 4 topside. It's like 4 minutes around that. It's after his first base. It's right after his first base.
Okay.
This shit, as a jungler, I almost lost my goddamn mind. It's so crazy.
TL Fly, game 3. What's the timer? Game timer?
Okay. Wait. Lee has to help Impact crash the wave.
Yes. But look at what he does. He starts hitting the golems.
Wait. I'm getting it up. Hold on. Relax. I'm getting it up.
Wait, Ellis, is that triggered already? Like, I'm telling you, man. When I saw this shit, I got mad.
I fucking can't. He's literally locked camera. He doesn't even F key, man. He doesn't even F key.
It's too crazy.
What the fuck is going on, man?
447. Tegon, play the clip. 447. Watch Lee Sin on the minimap. I was malding so hard in my stream because of this. This was crazy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm telling you, LS. Dude, this shit stuck with me, man. This is like 5 days later. I've been waking up at night in cold because of this shit. Some nuts shit that we saw.
Oh no, there's definitely been some highlights. There was a one I tweeted about. I think it was in spring. Where like Loco tried to like defend. It was a huge Twitter thing. I don't know if you remember it. But we went into the pro view and like it was bad.
Yeah.
But wait, okay, so Mordekaiser's lane's really bad, so I don't know how we arrived at this, but like
So
Impact
Mordekaiser's
must have
TP's
messed
in.
up.
Okay, right? Like look at this. Just watch Brox on the minimap during this. He has the insta flash. Like they flash on him, Volibear flashes on him, he E's out, and then look at the lane state. Look at where the wave is. And look at Brox. Look at Brox. Brox is like, nah, it's fine, bro. Let me just do these golems real quick. Look, he goes. Look, he's on the golems. He's hitting the golems. He's hitting the golems. Why? And they end up like, and he won't get criticized for it because it looks like a good play. It's like, oh, he got first blood. Bro, he's on the golems, man.
They would have had double kill without giving over a kill.
Yes.
They would have had double without getting. Yeah, I mean it's so bad. It's actually, but it's so
crazy.
bad that you can see the teleport, you can see Lee Sin on the minimap, and you know what he has to do.
Yes.
You don't need to even see his pro view or like fuck it. Oh god, it's just so.
It's crazy, man. It's really crazy.
Oh god, man. Oh, I'm malding.
But we didn't see it. Wait, how did they not see it?
How did they not see it?
I saw it.
It's right there.
I saw it.
It's this. It's
Yeah.
that. It's that. It's the delay. It's a slight delay here because we have the stream. It's about a 15-second delay. So it's this part here where Brox is currently sitting at golems rather than running there, right? Impact TP's in. He weathers the storm from Solo and Santorin. There he is, Lee Sin walking himself in. Just watch that mini map there on the bottom right-hand corner. Impact gets out. And then instead of going right here, going straight on in, because Impact is baiting it, Broxton takes that shortcut to start up that golem. And that's what kind of costs it right here.
I mean, you see stuff like this from pro junglers like sometimes, but I feel like the reason that like I'm mauled about it, or like maybe Dom's mauling about it in particular, right, is the frequency at which it occurs for TL is insane. Because your laners are always winning.
Yeah, and so
do you know how easy it is to play jungle with winning lanes? Like it's so insane.
Yeah, and the pausing there is for all of those being like, but they got the double, as Dom and LS said. This is an auto attack away, and basically the difference in HP here is that time spent punching the golem. Like that's
no guy in chat. Impact calls too late. No, dude. Impact could be fucking speaking North Sentinelese, dude. It wouldn't matter. Impact doesn't need to communicate, man.
No one needs to say
need
shit.
To use his fucking eyes, dude. Guy in chat, shit. Holy shit, man.
That's what Impact. Where's the communication, guys? No comms. No comms, motherfucker. That's how I'm gonna start doing it.
all right.
Oh my god, dude.
Dude.
I can't. Guy in chat always gets me, man.
Guy in chat MVP leading to the maulding of LS.
Oh man.
So we went in again, kind of like what we do, because that's what we do on the show. We go in on the suboptimal and nasty plays, but
that's my present to you, LS. Like I had to watch it. You now have to watch it too, man.
Life
this is what's happening now.
Jesus.
Go to a clinic after, like
Jesus.
Yeah, you got time. You got time today to go to the clinic before we go to the show. But all right, Flyquest. Let's talk Flyquest a little bit before we shift on over to the semifinal matchup. Flyquest wins. Santorin, solid. I mean,
jungle
diff. But anything else? Power of
Evil
solo.
diff. This is why Flyquest is the best team left. It's because they have the highest overall level of their mid jungle. So if you combine the skill of their jungler compared to the enemy jungler, like if you just like could average them both out, like let's say you gave them player ratings like in fucking NBA 2K or something like that. It's like if Power of Evil's a 91 and Santorin's a 95, then as a whole, that 186 is better than like the 70 Brox is putting up with maybe like the 96. 92 to 96, whatever you want to fucking give Jensen. You know,
Jensen has, yeah.
Yeah, so that's just my overall perception. And like even if Bjergsen's better than Power of Evil, he's not as much better than Power of Evil than fucking Santorin is compared to Spica. I don't know if I said that correctly, but you understand the point.
Yeah, you did.
Spica,
yeah.
Okay. So Santorin is just way better than Spica compared to however good Bjergsen is compared to Power of Evil. So
by that logic, Flyquest would shit on TSM.
I think that they're the favorites. I think Flyquest is unfortunately the favorites of our league at this point. Like,
I like that you said unfortunately, because this is a team of players that is mostly winning because their teamwork is a tier above pretty much everyone else. Their teamwork is just there. Their synergy with one another is just there. And right now in NA, it feels like the story for me is everyone has no teamwork. Everyone's just sort of like lost, right? And Flyquest doing what they did this split, I feel like is almost a Cinderella story, almost. And going into Worlds, I just don't feel good. Like,
other people have more than just one or two good players. Like, you can say Santorin and Power Evil are good for NA standards, right? Like, they're the best mid jungle in this tournament, right?
Yeah.
I would say that as a whole, like, are they better than Inspired Larson from Rogue? Like, it's like I would take Inspired Larson probably. Like, those are two fucking. Yeah, I mean that's the comparison. So like, even like teams where I think Rogue is probably gonna end up being the third seed. You know.
Yeah.
Which to me is fine. Like my whole point is, I don't want to shit on Flyquest because they've done everything that they've had to do to get here, and that in itself should be celebrated a little bit within North America. Let's keep it at least within LCS, because I do want to give them their due. Just like you have to give TSM their due for taking care of C9, who, yes, didn't play up to their standard and kind of imploded, but at the same time got it done. And what LS said is like, this is supposed to be like the Cinderella story, right? You've got Turtle, who's been playing for fucking ever, who has found a better form here in the playoffs. You have Power of Evil, who a couple of years ago we were saying, vote for me for EU, and then comes over to NA and takes the money.
I made a video flaming him.
Yes, right? So, like, these guys, it's Solo. We already know your relationship with Solo. It's Solo Q, right?
Well, I mean, I feel good for Santorin, honestly. Like, that's the person I feel good about, because this guy was, like, really, really underrated, and TSM fans did him dirty. That's really what it was. Like, he had this weird reputation. Santorin had this weird reputation for years after that one bad split he had on TSM, that this guy was like a passive, do-nothing AFK jungler that only farms, can't gank to save his fucking life, like he's worthless, like all this shit. This was the narrative around Santorin. And he wasn't that player. And it took him so long to actually get an opportunity where he could prove how good he actually is. And now he's doing that. Like, I feel like that is, that's like the person that I feel the best for in this entire thing. And obviously, like, Santorin's my friend, so I am biased in that sense, but I still feel like he had to go through so much to get back to this point, and he's put in so much work. This guy is constantly grinding. I mean, he ended last season rank 1. He's been in the top 5 multiple times this season as well. He grinds solo queue, puts in the work, performs on stage. Like, what more could you ask for a guy? Like, he's actually just like, what like a quality professional that guy is. It's just insane to me.
After TSM, where was it? Oh God, that's right. It was Huma,
Santorin had
and then Ember, and then Energy, and then spent time over with one Yunsub
H2K.
Yunsub Choi first over at GCU.
Yep. And he played well. He played well at GCU, and people just disregarded it. He played well in Energy, and because the team was bad, they disregarded it. He went to H2K, couldn't do anything. I mean, everyone was inting on that team. He had to play with Smitty J, Kadrill mid, and Patrick in like his first split with Promise Q. Like, wasn't able to do anything there. And then everyone's just saying that this guy just can't jungle. It's It's really triggering. And then like obviously he's just solid. He's like a high level pro. So I'm just happy to see that this guy is getting the success that he deserves.
Yeah, and then
I'm happy for Flyquest overall, even though I feel not good about Worlds for them.
Sure.
But I feel yeah.
Sure. I think I'm willing to wait and see. Like, you guys are there to predict that, hey, look, overall skill won't be there, but I'm willing to wait and see because they are poised to be the champs of the LCS.
I'm willing to wait and see solo versus Nuggery. That's
oh man. Well, I mean, honestly, Nuggery is like the weirdest player to me. He's the person I'm actually like the least confident on Damwon because he just dies in such weird ways.
Yes.
That for me, I just like I can't always be like sure he comes back from the deficits, but at some point it can't be like this meme of like 0-2, haha, he starts 0-2 and then takes over the game. It's like, well, at some point you're just going 0-2 every game, and that's a fucking issue. Like it stops being like a thing where it's like, oh well, it's just his playstyle, like funny meme. It's all a meme when you're winning. When you fucking lose the series, then you get the faker. You get the fucking faker treatment that he's getting from Korean fans in Korea eventually. So.
Yeah.
That makes me.
Yeah. Again, solo, no job at the beginning of last year. So, or beginning of this year. God, I can't believe it was this year. Crazy. All right. So, Flyquest will be waiting in the wings for the winner of this matchup. We teased it earlier. This is the lane matchup that I think all eyes are going to be on. Jensen against Bjergsen. I guess you'll have two junglers like stumbling across each other in Broxa and Spica. But again, these are the two teams that have made it this far. How do you feel like this one plays out? How does it play out differently than the regular season or any other time these two teams have met?
I don't know. I mean, it's weird because TL pretty much controlled Bjergsen perfectly in the two times they played in the regular season. But even after seeing that, I still don't think that like Bjergsen is going to be like hard suppressed in this series the same way he was in the regular season. I feel like Bjergsen will probably slight outperform Jensen, maybe not even based off individual skill, probably based off like jungle difference, but I'm really, really scared for TSM's bot lane because I think that TL's bot lane is the strongest bot lane left in the tournament right now, or in the playoffs. So I think that TL's bot lane can actually win super, super hard. I don't think that they're a bot lane that's just going to let you get away with picking Rakan every single game. Or if they just ban Rakan and they force Biofrost on like other types of picks, how is that going to look for TSM?
I think, I mean, TL versus TSM is pretty weird for me overall. Like, just to imagine what's going to end up happening. Just watching TSM's last couple of series. Unfortunately, I did miss the majority of the Flyquest TL series. So I didn't totally see what was going on there. But from the final bits of Game 4 and the game number 5 that I ended up watching, I was watching it with Whippo. It just looked really doomed. For like, TL started looking like Cloud9 in the game, in terms of like how they were coordinating and everything like that, and they just looked like they fell apart. And so, like what Dom's saying, if maybe the bot lane can actually get a big enough advantage, maybe it offsets anything else that happens elsewhere on the map. I also have no idea what to expect in terms of like draft, because it felt like TL just came out with some really weird shit that I was not, obviously like Zyra came out, right? And they had Pogma. I think that one was weird.
Yeah. I don't think that's happening again. I think that was a one-time thing.
The way that they ended up itemizing, it was definitely kind of weird. I don't know. I'm excited for the jungle matchup. Okay, like this is where the real stuff's gonna shine. Okay,
I think we're gonna see a lot of target bans in the series. I think that blue side red side's gonna ban Caitlyn every game, but I think that TL will probably just ban Nidalee, Rakan pretty much every game. I don't think you can even afford to like ban out Bjergsen, really. I think that they're just going to ban Nidalee Rakan, and I think that you're going to get a Lee Sin ban like every single game from TSM. That would be my predictions, but obviously like it's just we'll have to see if they actually like have any information that these players can play other things. Yeah. But I feel like if you just take away Lee Sin from Broxa and then you just like early pick Graves or something like that, he's just not a human anymore. Like it's just doomed for him. So I mean, we saw it, right? Flyquest game 5. They first pick Graves. What is the counter pick on R4? This is like where you normally see junglers pull out. Like if you look at good junglers around the world, people like Kanavi, people like Canyon, when they get counter pick jungle, it's normally a pick that like dooms the whole game. It's like, oh shit, that's like a good fucking Karthus angle. Oh, that's a Kindred that's gonna like 1v9 the game. They always have like a pick that's like, damn, this is like super good into the whole team comp. Broxah has like a champion pool of like 4 champions. So it's like, oh, like, is Set available? Okay, no. Okay, well, that's out. And we haven't even seen Set from him yet, but like, we just have to assume he plays it based on the fact that like, we've seen him play it in solo queue and stuff like that, and it gets banned a lot. Lee Sin, Graves, and then Volibear. And then he plays like a little bit of Hecarim and
These are all really, really simple champions, by the way. They're all really, really simple. And I don't know your stance on like his Lee Sin, by the way. I know he picks it a lot and they win a lot with it. I think that there was a very gross difference between a top Korean Lee Sin and an LPL Lee Sin and his Lee Sin. Just for what it's worth. It just feels like it's a placeholder champion that like slots into... It's like a no theme, you know, it just slots in. It like gives your laners whatever they want. Feels like a filler champion, like a support champion when they end up slotting it. But like what you're mentioning about his champion pool, they were banning Lilia and Evelynn pretty much every game. I just don't think he can play these champions. Yeah, they're too hard. They're too hard for him.
For sure.
So, and also, like, Evelynn, she actually has to look at the lane to plan her gank, so we already know that's problematic. And then Lilia...
All right.
Lilia's E, generally you're casting that while moving your screen away from yourself. So that one, you know, so that I think I don't even need to introduce you why Requiem might be a bit of a problem, but you know.
Hey, I mean, you can aim just so you know, you can aim that Lilia E off the minimap. So maybe you don't actually need to unlock your camera to use that one. So.
True.
I mean, I just feel like his champion pool is a real issue. I think that if they won with the Hecarim Shen when they played it, because Shen is a great impact champion, right? Like that is like an impact champion where he picks it. This guy is just so solid on the champion. Hecarim Shen, we saw it so many times in EU, right? Like when Fnatic plays it, it looks insane. It's like, oh shit, self-made is scary as fuck. This guy's about to carry the whole entire game. I didn't like the rune selection. I like the Conquer a lot more than Phase Rush most of the time on Hecarim, even though a lot of people take Phase Rush. I know Clid was running the Conquer on his Hecarim in the series versus DRX. Thought that was good. Self-made runs the Conquer as well. I think it's just a better rune, especially when you're into multiple tanky champions. Yep. Things like Ornn that was in the game. So I don't think he built correctly, but I don't think that he's the type of player where he's gonna like pop off in 1v9 on a Hecarim. Like Hecarim's like an animal champion. You gotta actually fucking like get in there and like, you know, force shit at some point. And it's just like he's not good with those tools. You can't give him a channel and be like go crazy.
Yeah. What are your predictions for the series, by the way? Who do you actually think is going to win?
Oh man, I'm feeling like TSM is going to win, honestly. Right. But I think that TL like should probably win. Like they should be the better team. But I really think that it's going to be an issue because I feel like TL got pretty exploited in the last series. I think Flyquest like showed exactly how you can draft against this team, and I don't know if TL is going to be able to change. It doesn't seem like TL is that good at adapting. So I feel like we're going to see a lot of Lee Sin and Graves bans, and like he's just not going to get those champions. And I think that jungle is going to be a real issue in this series, but could be wrong. Like maybe he turns up and he's able to play some of these champions. If Broxah can actually proficiently play an Eve, a Lilia, even a Karthus in spots, if he can play Nidalee, and they can like take that away from Spica, if any of these champions he can play and plays good games on, then I think TL will win. I just don't know if he'll be able to do it.
That's a lot of really cool analysis, Dom, and I really, you know,
okay.
I appreciate it, but
okay, your grandma said what? Like,
that's what we're getting at. That's what we're
getting fucking know.
Right. I didn't fucking believe her. I wanted to believe it for all the Cloud9 fans, but Grandma LS
predicted TL, Dom, so
oh no,
none of that matters.
Yeah. Fuck. My grandmother's no longer living, but you know she's still having equal impact to Broxah in the jungle. So you know she's chilling so far. You know probably put her in LCS soon. Oh. Jesus Christ!
Oh. I'm not.
All right, D-God, get us out of here, man. Get us out of here.
You put us in here, dude.
Yeah, exactly. I put us in here. You get us out of here. This is like your job on the show, man.
TSM. God, dude, I really wanted. Man,
I mean, I tweeted the prediction, so it's pretty much set in stone.
what's the
at this
record
point.
right now? What's Grandma
She is
Alice's
1 in
record?
14. She had
So
100%
she's 14
in
and 1.
LCK, but the pause actually it offset her voodoo magic. So yeah, Genji. She predicted Genji, and Genji was supposed to win, but the magic wore off. So
Unlucky.
But
All right. LS, who do you have for real?
I have TSM.
Damn, dude. All right. Well,
Crazy.
Yeah, go ahead, Digon. Go with the token. Fucking, I believe in TL.
Digon's a nice guy. So he's gonna rep Rock.
I am a nice guy, but I think I've done, TSM fans can blame me then, but I've done enough TSM hating that I've seen a team change because they got pushed to the brink and all their legacies were got to get tarnished, and I think they're gonna not get punished here by TL. I have TSM making to the semifinals and then losing to Flyquest because again, I believe Power of Evil's secret power is to negate the opposite mid laner. Yeah, that's his power.
He's been the Bjergsen counter. That's been the narrative forever.
He is, and that I believe that. I subscribe to that. I push that narrative. So that's what I've got here in this matchup.
Also, I feel like TSM, like the last point I just want to make on it is TSM probably has a lot more confidence. Like TL lost to Flyquest, they probably felt like they shouldn't have lost there, and TSM just beat C9, so they were pushed for Golden Guardians. They came back in that series, then they beat C9. They're feeling probably a lot better coming into this series than TL. TL's probably more in that like I hope we don't fuck it up mindset. Yeah.
Digon's stat of the week: TL have not lost to TSM all year.
Yep.
2-0 this season, expected because they were the number 1 team. 2-0 in the spring when they had a losing record and barely could win anything. So TL has an edge, I guess, if you want to use that. But I agree with your analysis there, Dom. Like, going to the brink a couple times, you feel good. TL's in this match because they lost. So, all right, time for everyone's favorite. We need to, if someone wants to make a theme song for losing to Shopkeeper, I'm willing to listen to a couple, and then we can throw it in there for LS. So if you want to make a theme song,
I spammed you guys with losing to Shopkeeper.
Yes.
In this one.
Yes, I've got you. All right. First one off the top. Let me make sure I get this one right. This is game 1 of Cloud9 and TSM. Let's pull this one up here. It is all right.
Wait, you didn't use the Thanos Boris. All right.
Oh,
whatever.
yeah. You sent me a couple. Hold on. Let's appease LS.
Yeah, let's make sure to let these people know about Boris's law as well.
Yes.
Viewers need to understand.
Boris's law.
Oh man.
Any purchase that can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah, that's how it is.
And then here is the other one that LS made. He made this himself. Look at this Photoshop god right here. Boris is the inevitable. Anything else, LS?
I didn't make that. So
no.
There's a guy that makes
Stop
these.
being super humble, dude. I was like, I said in the chat. So I said in the chat, hey, LS, can you send some of the Borises for the week? And he sent me these. Like, I was like, please just send me some of the fucking item bills. And thankfully Dom comes in with some common sense and was able to fucking send me some item bills.
This is what he's talking about. Also, by the way, I can't make the show for the next 72 hours. So,
no, that would have been fine if he would have told us. But he
Jesus fucking Christ.
All right. First one. Shit, where is it? Okay, here we go. This is C9 TSM. Go for it, Dom.
Okay, so this is like, I really started hating this, man. What is this obsession with Bork Set in these types of team comps? Like, I feel like Set is just supposed to go full fucking tank in this game. Like, you're literally just frontline, and you're just a bot for the Galio to ult on top of. Also, I hate the Greaves on Kindred. I know Greaves are really good on Kindred, but like this is very heavy AD. I assume that he has Legend Tenacity. I hope he does at least because he is against TF or Khan. But I mean, if he doesn't and he wants to take Merc Treads, that's fine. But I think Tabbies versus Graves, Lucian, Senna, 3 auto attacking, 80 champions on the enemy team. I think that's necessary. And then, yeah, like the Bork on Set, I'm just not a huge fan of.
Yeah, Bork on set makes no sense. They're all range champions. Like, who are you reliably hitting? You don't need Bork to stick to them, because you can just get Dead Man's Plate eventually, right? If you want that. Or you just get Ronduins, or you just get Thornmail and let them hit you as you run at them. I mean, you're dealing damage that way, because they're never building MR. The Greaves on Kindred's really weird. You could just go, Stormrazor Rapid Fire, I think is what, like, Forrest mauled it about on Twitter. Think of, like, you get ahead on Kindred. We see Pioshik sometimes in like solo queue just go Trinity Force. Like if you get really ahead on Kindred, then it becomes oppressive. But yeah, I mean Boris was out in Force. I think like Iceborne obviously on Ezreal is good. I think that one makes fine sense. But yeah, I don't know. Also, I hate the Bork on Lucian because if Set is sentient and he goes Bramble Vest, you just lose effectiveness on Build Toward Cutlass and laning phase. But if you go Miramana in laning phase, you can just use your abilities on him and you can circumvent his purchase in a way.
Yep.
All right, small little wrinkles there.
This is like the least of them. There's one, I mean, Digon, you have in the chat where I was like a story in 3 parts.
Yeah.
We gotta see how this set build evolves throughout the series, because we get to see some shit later on.
Yeah, here we go.
It was bad.
So that is what is next. A story in 3 parts. Part 1 right here. Here's the beginning of Set's evolution.
Mm-hmm. Give it to me.
Go ahead.
The double long
the
sword.
stage. Yeah, set the
Okay.
stage.
So first game, I'm like, hey, this Lucian is rushing Bork, right? This Lucian is rushing Bork. So you just pick up the Bramble Vest. It's really good in these team comps.
Yeah.
He evolves it to the double longsword here. How fucking crisp is that? The double longsword on Set. Give us the next slide, Dion. Give us part 2.
There it is. Part 2 right on up there.
That's part 1. He
Part
pulls
2.
out the blue hoodie. Look at that shit. That's the blue motherfucking hoodie. Why does he have a hoodie? What is that for? Someone explain to me. What is that hoodie doing in his inventory? He is laning for some fucking Lucian.
Into part 3.
Oh
right
man. And then what does he build from here? What's the completion?
That's the completion.
It's like watching memory loss. Like...
And then he picks up the Warden's Mail and the Cutlass.
He's going senile.
What the fuck is this, man? What am I looking at here, man? This is some crazy shit. The Warden's Mail plus, like, what is in his inventory right now, man? They're not real items.
Kelsia's camera cuts to him. His clothes are off. He's trying to climb out a window. Like...
And then look at them. This is the honorary 4th part. Then he goes to Bork. He completes the Bork, and he completes the Adaptive Helm.
He was trying to be like, what can I do here to at least complete the item? No one asked me what this was.
Boris fucking took this thing out.
Boris's grandchildren got paid through college. Holy shit, dude.
That's rough.
Oh my god.
Right. That was my favorite one, man. That was my favorite one.
God.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It was a story in 3 parts, plus the ending.
The the 4th part is just like you get to see it at the end. By the 4th part, it just becomes sad and it's not as funny. It's like the 3rd part, it just peaks. It's the climax, and then you see this, and you're just like, all right, man. I guess we just go next season.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, dude, he was so tilted from his fucking item build. You should have seen what happened in game 4, right? Like he ran it in game 4. He didn't even flash. He was like, let's just go home. Like, I'm just done with this shit.
Jesus. All right. So, all right, let's look it up. What else do we got here? We've got the
and this one. Look at that cleaver on the rec side in this game. He 3rd item the cleaver in that game. Oh my god.
Oh fuck. Oh.
That was like
I
Oh,
molded that one.
bad,
No, I
my
molded.
bad.
Yeah, just go back real quick. We can just look at that cleaver real quick, just stare at it. I mean, I'm fine with the Edge of Night. Like, it's whatever. But the Edge of Night into Aegis into cleaver, like, what is this cleaver doing in this game? This cleaver.
What armor shred, by the way? What armor? Why? What?
Eve.
What fucking armor?
Eve, Lucian, TF. Like, who has armor?
Wait, let me look this up. Wait, hold on. Let me do something really quick while we keep this open. Like, he built this after Edge. He should just keep going lethality, by the way, because his only purpose is just to one-shot someone, which he can do. Like Rek'Sai can create the threshold, right? So like, let's say Eve is like, what level is she in this game when this happens? Like 16 or something?
It's lower than that.
It's
They're
lower
like
than that.
I think they're like 15 and 13, something like that.
I mean, Eve has what, 78 armor right now? Lucian has like what? I don't even know, man. Lucian has 67 armor. So like the other thing about Rek'Sai, right, is that you're getting the true damage bite. So you're shredding all their armor, and then you yourself don't even get the most effect out of it.
Yeah, it's just the ultimate.
It's the same thing as set. I mauled about Black Cleaver on set too. Like so you stack everything, but then you're intending to hit the true damage on Haymaker. Like what am I missing here? What are we blanking on?
I mean, the cleaver here is also bad because you don't make any use of the CDR on Rek'Sai, and then this like at this point you're going in, you're trying to one shot.
Yes, yeah. Yes.
So you're not getting a second round of spells off. You're not getting second rotation. Yeah, you're not getting second rotation.
God, there was a guy on Twitter, dude. Honestly, he was gonna put me into a fucking nursing home or something on Twitter. He was like arguing
to help do that.
Oh my god, dude. No, he was arguing like Black Cleaver on Lee Sin in a game where it was like indefensible. I can't remember what game it was. It was so fucking bad. But I mean, the same logic applies to Rek'Sai here. The same logic applies. The CDR is wholly irrelevant, like what Dom's saying. You're going in, and the CDR difference between having Black Cleaver versus having like Yumu's or Duskblade of Drakthar, right, 10%, is not going to matter. You're not getting your second round of rotations off with abilities, whether you have that 10% or not. The HP is irrelevant. But like, I love the people that don't realize the argument that people make between Edge of Night and Black Cleaver. They're really close in HP value, but the spell that you block probably deals more than you would have gotten from Black Cleaver. Like in terms of EHP granted. I don't know, man. I hate when people they operate from the stance that the pro player is correct first and then try to defend it, rather than operate if the item is okay and attack it. Do you know what I mean? Did I say that right?
Yeah. Say it one more time. One more time. Sorry. One more time. I'll make sense.
No, a lot of people operate from the perspective that whatever the pro player does is correct initially.
Right.
Because they're a pro.
Because they're a pro. I will say the average player does not have the collective brain mass to think critically at this level. Not that they don't think critically, but at this level. The issue is that it's very clear for you guys that it's not.
I think that like aura of like pro players being right kind of goes away once you've like operated in the pro scene. That's at least how I see it. Like, sure, I mean, I kind of felt that way too before I was a pro, and then like I played for 5 years, and I'm like, dude, pros are not as good as you think they are, right? Like, there's a lot of stuff to do. Like, there's a lot of stuff that they're working on. Like, you're not going to be correct on everything when you're a pro. It just is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, the other really weird thing about those arguments, right, is they'll be like, oh, well, this pro player does it and you're not a pro or something like that, so they must be right. And then you're like, okay, well, this pro player doesn't do it and says that this is bad. And then their argument just falls apart. Well, you know what I mean? Because like,
I can show that to a pro player that's better and they'll agree that that's bad. I'm sure if you show that to Selfmade, he'll be like, yeah.
Well, right. But ultimately, like what we're talking about is appeal to authority. But like you can show appeal to authority is it's fallible when you just present two opposing opinions from two different pros. Because now they just can't use that argument anymore. But when you ask them to think critically, it's like their brain just turns off. I just don't know what it is with some fans. It's like so weird.
Well, it's also like these things are kind of like mathematical. Like you can kind of just you can actually just look at like what the item does.
Yes. Some of them are just math. Yeah.
And you can like we just did it right there. You look at the armor values that the enemy team has. You look at how much Black Cleaver is going to reduce it. You compare that to like how much lethality is. If you have the basic understanding of how armor works, where it's just like percentage penetration is obviously better the more armor the person has, and lethality is better at lower armor values. Like if you just understand these concepts, you can actually like get to the result where it's like, yeah, this Cleaver just. The only reason he's building it is because he's like on welfare in this game, and he's so poor that he's like, at least you can go back and you can buy like a fucking ruby crystal and a longsword, and you're like, all right, like that's better than if I back and I can't buy anything, you know. So
there was a spot on, and I'm not trying to flame him by the way, or anything like that. There was a spot on like Double Lift stream recently actually where he talked about Black Cleaver, right? The enemy team, he had like 4 AP teammates. And the enemy team had no armor. And he built Black Cleaver because he said that he needed to be tankier in the game. But Edge of Night only needs to block an ability that would have dealt 75 damage in order to just balance out. Right? But it's definitely going to block abilities that deal way more than that.
Edge of Night is like just naturally. OP. Like people,
it's just really strong. Yeah.
Yeah. Edge of Night is just like almost always like good. It's just like one of those things, man. Like that passive has been in the game forever, and it's always been a broken passive. Like the blocking one spell, because it's not like Dota where like spells are stagnant. Spells scale in this game. So like one spell late game can be 1,000 damage. Could be more than 1,000 damage.
Right. But it also
block it.
It offsets so many combos. Now, I will say this, though. A lot of pros will get Edge of Night against Evelynn, but it's really bad.
Yeah.
Banshee's Veil is also very bad against Evelynn, because what she does is she just smites you.
Yep.
She smites, pops it, and then she just does her combo anyway. Don't get those items against Steve. But also, don't get Hex Drinker against Steve. Because by the time the Hex Drinker would activate, you're already in the threshold for the amplified damage, and it's just going to kill you anyway, because it's too much damage.
No matter what. So you get
don't get Hex Drinker. Yeah, you get Cowl, or you start
get that's when you put on the hoodie. Like, Licorice put on the hoodie, but he put on the hoodie at the wrong time. That's it.
All right.
We got more Lost to Shopkeepers. I think I sent you a couple, right?
We do.
Nice,
all right.
Excellent.
So we're done with that set. Let's take a look at TL and Flyquest. This one over here. I think this one is the. What are we looking at here on this one? I'm not 100% sure. Is this the?
We'll see.
That's right. You got the delay. My bad.
Yeah. It's so I think this is like the double locket. I remember I didn't like the double locket, but I think there was more to it than that. Let's look at it for a second. Maybe it was just the double locket. I think this one was just like I just didn't like the double locket, and then
why does Shen have stone plate? I don't understand. Just get Solari and give your teammates HP. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why does he have stone plate? It's really bad. What the hell?
That's Team Liquid on the left, so that's Impact on the stone plate. Opposite side solo with the double locket play here.
I don't like Blade of the Ruin King on I talked about this with Crowny a lot on my stream. I don't know if you've ever had this conversation, Dom, on yours, but Blade of the Ruin King, I just really don't like it on Ashe, just in general. Like, there's very few times where I think it's a passable item. You could argue here that she's going to be able to utilize it a bit against enemy team, but I think that just going for the pure damage, crit, etc. scaling is just a lot better in this spot. Why do you dislike double locket though? If they're coordinated, they can get value.
Well, I mean, I just think that it's like I don't like the just inherent factor of like the fact that it has diminishing returns, and like a lot of times you'll just see them both lock it at the time where you should lock it. Like, I don't think these teams are coordinated enough where it's like they see the spot where it's like, hey, this is like where lock it's good. Here comes the AoE. They both press lock it, and it's like, okay, now you're getting diminishing returns. I think Redemption would be pretty good in this game, especially like the way that the damage is going to come out. I think Redemption would be really good to just throw on your carry here.
Nope.
So
no one does Redemption on set yet. I know that I tweeted at Spica that like I'm 100% adamant that like Redemption Solari on set is like the play. But if you went Redemption first instead of Locket, I think that would be better, because you want the Locket on Ornn because he has all the HP. He has way more bonus HP than you can get.
Yeah, and Redemption is an Ornn upgradable item here, so
yeah. Salvation, yeah.
Yeah, it becomes Salvation. So.
All right, TSM fans, there you go. You heard it here first. LS already trying to help out Grandma's predictions here by teaching Spica a thing or two. So if you see Redemption next week, you knew where it came from. All right.
He was the first one to build Locket.
Yep.
Next one up here. Where is it? Oh, I got to scroll. Okay. Let's see what you've got. Your GP Mordekaiser. What are we looking at?
Where is it? Dead? Okay, there it is. Look at
this one's really weird. Whippo talked about this on this stream. So apparently Meteos really hates Leandries on GP. And the only thing I can think of is that you don't understand GP, or you don't understand like what GP is trying to do. But also I think he's never seen the math on Leandries versus IE. But also it's about practicality. Like what is more practical involvement, because you can get Leandries off barrels as well, right? But crit chance going to 50%, like you're flipping coins. Whippo had like like a 3-minute, like he went off on it for like 3 minutes, because I know that like Meteos is very against Leandri's right now, but I also like live with probably the best GP in Korea, and he's gone off about it like in broken English, but like he's gone off about it on his stream. And it was actually tooth and nail. It was literally tooth and nail to get him to start trying it. But once he tried it, he's like, wow, you know, and he like started going over like the damage graphs on his games. But the other thing is that you activate W twice, most likely, in like late game team fights. So because you activate W twice, you get 72 times 2, so 144 HP. So Leandri's is actually giving you like 444 HP. It's not just giving you the 300, unless you just get burst instantly, in which case it's giving you 372. But the R is reliable. It's like what you're getting it for. Yeah. That burn and the madness it's reliable. It's not a flip coin. Sterix is a joke. You don't need Sterix, because Sterix and Leandri's, especially if you're getting W's off, they're giving you pretty similar value, especially because they're never chewing through the Sterix shield. Like often they're already on cooldown, or if you're in a situation where you're just getting shredded through, you've already fucked up. So what is more practical is that GP is spacing for barrels and he's spacing for his R, and he's holding it. And the threat of an R with Leandri's is so much scarier.
I mean, that's pretty much as all that I needed to see for the Leandri's is once they started building an EU, and you just see that one ulti come down from GP where it instantly chunks the AD carry to like 60% life, or maybe even lower, depending on if they hit the true damage portion of the cannonball. And then the guy just can't fight, and it's like, all right,
he can't fight. Yeah.
It makes GP like super OP. That's pretty much how I see Leandri's. And just for my point in this game, this was the triple Leandri's game from TL. So that was like the main reason why I wanted.
Yeah, that was bad on TL. That was actually was bad.
This is the triple Leandri's here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think Cog should have just powered Deathcap instead of just going Leandri's, even though he could apply it. Or alternatively, he gets Rylai's for his teammates. I guess that would be one of the options. What the hell is this?
All right, moving us on.
Egon, why did you just put a fucking Black Cleaver set on my screen? What the hell? What the fuck is going on, Egon?
My bad. That was my game. Let me clarify to see which game that was real quick. This is the. Here it is. This is Young Solo.
Yep.
Young Solo coming right at you, showing builds don't matter. I guess they did in game 4. They did lose that one. What else hops off at the screen at you?
I mean, that was the main thing here, was just like the Bork Cleaver set in this game. I feel like it's so useless.
It's super useless. I hate it. I hate the build path entirely. Should always just be going Triforce. Should always be going Triforce. No, the 600 gold does not fucking matter. Shut up. Jesus Christ, dude. You know, the funniest thing that I thought of like on this Triforce argument is no one ever does it with the Triforce users that could build Black Cleaver. No one ever says shit to Garen or Darius, right? It's just like accepted that they build Triforce, even though they would be primary candidates for like the argument of, oh, it costs more. So that doesn't make any sense to me. This is just another one of those instances where like pro players see, or people see a pro player do something, but there's also tons of pros that build Triforce. They only build Triforce, right?
Right.
But game state is really important. Go into the game, watch when the Black Cleaver's fucking completed, and then count 2 minutes into the future. And then ask yourself if the person could have gotten Triforce. 99% of the time, the answer is fucking yes. But also, a really interesting thing, a guy in my coach stream, he mauled so hard about this. He went into practice tool with like various different setups as Renekton and Set with Triforce components versus Black Cleaver, and Triforce components always did more total damage and basic burst combos. That's how fucking bad the item is. Because when you're completing it early, by the way, their armor values are even lower than in the later stages of the game as they begin to go up more. So you're even getting less value on the shred.
Yeah. And then this game, the other thing that I wanted to point out here that I thought was really bad was Power of Evil. He went Seraphs into Spellbinder into Deathcap, and then he didn't get the stick. I think he needs the stick in this situation, man. Look at how much MR is on the other team. Like you have MR on the Kalista. Kalista has Death Stance with a QSS. You have an Orin on the enemy team that has a Locket plus. All right, I think that's a Locket. It's grayed out right now, but I'm pretty sure it's a Locket plus plus Abyssal Mask. Like, yeah, I don't know. You just need it, bro.
So what does he go? That
Void Staff, bro. Yeah, I want to see Void Staff instead of Leandri's there. That fourth Leandri's, I just don't like it.
Yeah, Yeah.
All right. I didn't think we were going to get that much out of this one because we've already hit Black Cleaver before. But here's our final one here. It'll be coming up in just a second. This is game 5, I believe. Let's click over. Is it game 5? Yeah, game 5. All right, here we go.
Oh, this was like the no. Oh man, this was like the Orin with 0 Orin upgradable items. I'm pretty sure.
Wait, is this it?
Yep.
Oh no, it's not. Oh no, sorry.
Yep.
I thought this was the Lee Sin one. Oh, okay. All right, we're fine.
No. This was the one where it's like it's an Orin and you just have nothing to upgrade in this game. So I think this is actually.
This is TL, right?
Yeah, this is TL.
Yeah. The no ornament. Oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
but also, what? Go.
Well, no. Go for it.
Okay. QSS on Orn is a joke. I think I mulled about this. Was it last week? We did face check. I mulled about it too.
Right.
So
we had the split.
Yes.
The split conversation.
Yes.
About that, right?
So it Jesus Christ. Like, okay, so you are as Orn. Well, first off, you can just R outside of the range of Mordekaiser, and then you get both activations, right? But if the argument is that you are as Orn, Mordekaiser death realms you QSS, and then reactivate R, well, first off, why do you care? Because your 4 teammates probably beat their 4. So if Mordekaiser's in the death realm with you, you're happy. But also, you're not a death realm target. So it doesn't make any sense there. I never understand QSS on Orn. It's just so fucking stupid. It's like they don't actually think about what the sequence
in this game, by the way. Like that literally happened where he R'd and then he got death realmed and then he wasn't able to QSS fast enough in R2. so like he actually didn't even get the. It's like around the blue, around his own blue buff. You can actually see the fight in this game.
The other thing that me and Whippo I think we're talking about, we never have ever seen a jungle do it, but Abyssal Mask would have been really good on Volibear this game. There's no reason to go Dead Man's Plate when the opponents are just gonna come into you, or you're gonna be starting the fight with Bard Ultimate into Orn into Ash Arrow. You never fucking need Dead Man's Plate on Volibear here. It is such a joke of an item.
I mean, I think like even bigger than that, the whole idea of the Volibear pick, I just hated in this game.
Well, yeah, but we already
addressed that.
Yeah. The champ pools, yeah.
But this was just like, this was a hard game to watch because I feel like in this game, like I know that death cap isn't always good, but I think that this would have been a really good death cap second game for Azir. Like this is one where you can where you can pull it out. So I didn't really like the Liadras there. There's not that much HP on the other side. And benefit would skews it, in my opinion.
I want to be able to pull. You remember when it was?
Oh man, I don't know. It was whenever he has the QSS completed. I can try to find it.
I'm looking real quick. Let's see.
TL versus Fly, game 5.
TSM just announced my grandmother as their newest addition.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Congrats.
Yeah.
I'm zipping through it right now. Let me see if
I'm trying to find it.
All right.
No QSS yet. Here we go. There's QSS. Is this it? This is by blue buff.
I didn't see it though.
Yeah, I didn't see it here either.
Maybe it was
here it is. Yeah, it was this one. Is this? I got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm pretty sure it was in this game.
I'll just narrate it because I know we've got the delay. Oh my god. Oh, Impact just forgot he had it here. Okay. So Solo's chasing Impact here. Impact pulls it. Solo pops him in. Oh my god.
He could have just done it. Yeah, that's literally this is the exact one I was talking about.
Oh my god.
He literally has like it's just he doesn't even use it. He doesn't even get to like QSS and then R2. So it's like this is what you're getting it for, and it's not even executed in the game. Unlucky, man. It's really unlucky.
Oh god. There's just oh god. I could hear his TV like, "Hey, Impact, do you have QSS?" He goes, "Huh?" Oh,
yeah, no,
like right there.
It's the latest QSS, right? As soon as he gets ulted, it shouldn't just be like instinctual, like.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it's rough.
Oh, you tried to big brain.
I mean, also if you're like a fucking godlike Orin, you can do the whole W cancel on the Mordekaiser ulti, but you know, I'm not expecting that because we play on like 70 ping here in practice, so you know, a little bit rough on that front.
Oh boy. All right. Cool. Thank you, Boris, for another day of great favors. It did only cost
Never a dull
Cloud9
moment.
Worlds, and yeah, it did cost Cloud9 Worlds, but still great moments with Boris. That's what we named this segment too. Great moments with Boris. All right, that's all for NA. I don't know why my voice just cracked there. That's all for NA that we got. Was there any world's news? Actually, let's chat about it real quick. I do wanted to talk about Vietnam now not participating in Worlds.
Yeah.
That dropped it down to 22 slots, and for a brief moment, NA fans, Cloud9 fans. But if you were a true fan of NA, assuming you're not a fan of one of the top 3 teams that are still left in, you were like, holy shit. There's a chance. The streak's alive, and NA might be able to get themselves out of group stages. They'll expand and give NA that rightful 4th slot. And then there were some really good arguments from other fans of other regions saying, hey, what about us? Or we do better, or, NA is a minor region or whatever.
Give the slot to fucking Schalke and give it to give it to
the Miracle
IG
Run.
as well.
Yeah.
That's where I want those slots to go. Give it to
IG
Schalke
and
and IG.
Yeah,
you
give
go.
5 and 5. But no, that obviously didn't happen. Changes the format of play-ins a little bit.
You know what would have been really interesting is if they took the teams that just missed out on Worlds from all the major regions and then had them in a side tournament.
Damn.
That's
to fill
expensive.
the slot, because is it expensive? I mean, I guess maybe it is, but no, because you're saving money on the team that isn't going, right?
The 2 teams
to an extent. Yeah, because 2 teams aren't going, so you're saving money on those fronts, right?
Sure. Well, I mean, Vietnam would have been.
You're spending
those
a
are
little
the
bit
2
more.
cheapest regions probably not going to.
Oh, in terms of flights?
Well, yeah,
stuff?
flights and the cost of Vietnamese. To run a Vietnamese team is way lower than it would be any other major.
Yeah, we
region.
had
True.
fun fact, the original sponsor of Facecheck,
I wasn't going there, dude.
you weren't going there. The original sponsor of Facecheck actually bought a Vietnamese team. Low
What,
key.
really?
Yeah, the original sponsor.
Low-key esports.
Low-key esports, yep.
Holy shit.
Back in the day.
That was back in the day. So
that was the origin story of Facecheck, man. This is April last year.
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit. Okay.
Good dude. Or
That would have been
was good to us. I'll say it was good to us.
Yeah, really good to
us. Everything was on time, but then there was this whole esports story that was there. Yeah, you can look that one up. But yeah, so my point would have been hey, look, so assuming that you bring in IG, right? IG would be in China. What would they play in China? So you'd bring the teams for this 2-team play-in spot to China so that everyone is not playing over lag. That would be what? Cloud9, Schalke, IG, and then whoever is the 4th team out from Korea.
It's gonna be 2-1 probably. People would love that, actually. That'd be great.
That would be sick. That would be the tournament I would want to watch.
I would
Fuck the
love
play-ins. Give me that
That would be
that'd be the sickest 4 ever. That's Worlds right there.
Yeah, that's actually really sick.
it's almost actually like an MSI reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Jesus Christ.
And Schalke.
Oh my god. We're getting MSI after all.
That's really good, dude.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
So what do you guys think? Man, our dream story is so much better than what Riot's putting together. So the way, for those that don't know, instead of having 4 groups of 3, as they've had for the past 3 years of play-ins, they've now switched it to 2 groups of 5. And so the top team automatically makes it to the play-in playoffs. And then I think 4 plays 3 and 3 plays 2 for the last slot in play-ins, and then they play a head-to-head, 1 versus 2. So it's something weird like that, but basically it's 5-team groups here playing for those 4 play-in slots. It's kind of funky, but do you think this changes anything because it's mainly affecting the play-ins?
I don't think it's really gonna change that much.
I think it'll be the same. I hope.
Yeah, I think it's just a bummer, right? Because as Loco has always mentioned, and it was something I prided myself on, it was always fun to see these the minor regions by size and all of their stories, and to see Vietnam go from being a minor
watch
region
one
to a
of those
major
fucking
region.
games in his fucking life. What is he talking about with these stories? Oh, I love watching the stories. Like, did you watch it? No, hell no. I have better things to do. But it's
No.
cool that it exists.
No, it is cool that it exists. One, two. I did watch the Osh finals, and I was in there with the Osh casters and chatted with them. And
I
so,
watched that. How bad was that finals? Holy fuck, that was bad. Jesus Christ. The triple AP topside with the cast. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, continue. Sorry, I was just getting PTSD from that finals.
All right, yes, that's correct. But the fact that it is a whole region being represented, and there's a world where they can find success at Worlds and become a major region, which also had to do with their player base. Like, let's be fair, Vietnam has like the second or third largest player base in the world.
Yep.
But their success at Worlds reflected their fanaticism. That's not a word. Their fandom behind the game and the region. So like that part is fun to see. And now you're taking out the one region that did make the step up, right, in Vietnam. So
yeah, it sucks.
That's a bummer. And actually, Vietnam's final spot was a fight between the two teams that represented them recently at Worlds.
Spots, right?
Yeah, well, their final slot was between EVOS, which we've seen at Worlds, which is kind of like a revamped roster, and Gigabyte Marine. Gigabyte Marine was not the #1 seed. So Levi, after getting that NA money and getting tickled in the tip by 100 Thieves about possibly starting, that would have been the story there. So anyway, sorry, Vietnam.
No, I mean, the saddest thing for me about these wildcard regions, especially the ones that are in Asia, is like, I feel like every year that passes, people don't realize it, but I think, did I say this last week? These teams scrim LPL and KR.
I don't think
right?
so,
Like those are their practice partners. Is like they scrim KR Academy, they scrim LCK, they scrim LPL, they scrim LPL Academy, etc. Like every year that goes by, these wildcard regions from Eastern Asia get so much fucking better than people realize. So it's always actually exciting to see them in play-ins.
Still can't
like
crack a starting spot on 100 Thieves.
All right. Well,
it would be cool to see a Vietnamese import, like another Vietnamese import that has.
I mean, one of my favorite
spot.
junglers right now is a Vietnamese import, right? SOFM.
Mm-hmm.
I love that guy. That guy's a beast. Except he builds warmugs every single game, third item, and triggers me. But besides for that, he's a beast.
You know, he speaks really good English, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I should fucking hit him up.
Tweet him, dude.
He speaks really good English, and he's also willing to like add and get into like long arguments after games in solo queue. Had that experience with him. No, like genuinely. Like he actually.
So he's just a jungler. That's what you mean. It's like he's just a jungler.
What do you mean?
Then.
No. If you can explain why something's bad or wrong, he'll actually listen to it and apply it. That's always been my experience with him.
Crazy.
But he actually hates playing jungle in solo queue. He prefers to play mid and top.
Here it is, yeah. Another player that LS has properly taught to become one of the best in their role and savior of the region.
Actually grew by LS,
dude.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Thanks,
Holy
LS.
shit.
Yeah. Cool. Worlds kicks off, so we'll know all the teams by next week. Good luck to all the teams. We already made our predictions. Grandma made the prediction. TSM will get on through. Flyquest or TSM, assuming that TSM gets through. Do we all have Flyquest as the favorite now? Do you see TSM winning? Because I have Flyquest winning it all after beating Team Liquid this last week.
Flyquest is the best shot. I mean, they just have such an advantage at this point.
I'm gonna defer to my grandmother on that one, so I don't have an answer yet.
All right.
You know?
Thanks, Grandma LS.
Quality analysis we get on the show. God bless.
Yeah. What great analysis.
All right, guys. Hey, for everyone watching at home and everyone that was able to wake up early in Europe, stay up late here in North America, we obviously appreciate you guys. I will say that it was a lot of work by LS to make it work on his schedule, and actually Dom actually pushed a lot to get this episode done today. Not that that's not abnormal, but I did a little bit less of the work. Normally I am the one driving the train, but Dom did a lot of the work. So props to them. thanks for all of you fucking losers in my tweets saying Facecheck win. Like, fuck you. Like, we made like 5 tweets about it. Like, we're gonna get it done when we get it done. All right. But for the rest of you sending me sexy photos of myself, appreciate that. You're loved. Thank you for watching Facecheck. We'll see you after we have our LCS new champion, maybe, or whatever the LCS champion is. You guys, any closing words?
I mean, I think it was a pretty good episode. I think this was like one of the good ones for sure.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you on Monday.